subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers because if we do, then great videos like this one and more will be able to be released every week. So, subscribe.
Now, as we continue with our James Bond-a-thon, which we kind of stopped doing for a little bit, we resume it by taking a pit stop. And that is by looking at the first Austin Powers movie, which is Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. And I have it here on this triple feature Blu-ray.
So this copy of Austin Powers, it comes with all 3 of the movies in Blu-ray and comes with this slipcover, and when you look inside, each movie has their own designated Blu-ray disc, which is very nice. It has a very good cover on each disc, looks very fancy, so yeah, very cool.
Now you may ask, what is Austin Powers? Why are we reviewing this in the James Bond-a-thon? Well, my friend who is very uneducated about movies, we are watching this because this is a spoof or parody of James Bond. Kind of. It takes a lot of things from James Bond movies and makes fun of them while doing a lot of really cool and new funny things. So, yeah, it kind of became its own thing. But this movie has a lot of references to old James Bond movies and stuff, which we've been kind of looking at. So, it's good to take a look at this. Now, anyways, let's throw this into the Blu-ray player, which I do not have because I am poor.
This movie's plot is that in the 60s, Austin Powers, a handsome British agent with ugly teeth, is met with a special mission to stop his arch nemesis, Dr. Evil, who has made a machine to freeze himself and shoot himself into space, coming back in 30 years. It is up to Austin Powers to freeze himself too and stop Dr. Evil from holding the world hostage. I love this movie. It has many original ideas while still being a good spoof of James Bond. This movie doesn't have many flaws. It's very well written. The music score is awesome, and the moral of the story, I guess you could call it, is very true and good, but we'll get back to that stuff. But first, let's dive into my thoughts and notes from this movie. Starting this movie up, I'm already laughing as they showed Dr. Evil for the first time. Like, seriously, Dr. Evil. How did anyone not think of that name before this movie? We had Dr. Doom, Dr. Psycho, Dr. Death. Like, how did no one think of this one? Seriously, Dr. Evil is the best villain ever just because he has the best name ever. I also need to talk about how Mike Myers didn't just play Austin Powers, but he also plays Dr. Evil and wrote the screenplay. Now that's what I call a legend. But back to the movie. In the beginning of the film, they have a time jump of 30 years, which, if you know a lot about writing movies, you would know that that's a very bad idea, because it can lose the audience's interest with it restarting the momentum of the film. But in this movie, it takes care of it really well and keeps you watching. After the time jump, Dr. Evil's evil helpers, I guess you could call them, are introduced. Now, why this is cool is because most of them are actually old James Bond villains, like Oddjob from Goldfinger, and number 2, who is Emilio Largo from Thunderball. But we'll get to that movie. Characters interacting with each other, like Dr. Evil and his son Scott, are hilarious to watch. And there's more. There's sus names making fun of old James Bond characters. Everyone's chasing after Austin Powers like he's a supermodel when really he's ugly. And Austin Powers is a sussy baka. I don't know, it was just in my notes with an Among Us character next to it.
So, do I like International Man of Mystery? Yes. This movie is very well done, thanks to Mike Myers, and is very well acted. It has very good jokes. making fun of a lot of the things that the old movies do, and yeah, it has a good moral of the story, I guess you could call it, which I was talking about earlier, which is that, you know, these movies, not these movies, but the James Bond movies, especially the Sean Connery movies, are like very, very, very sexist, but that's not really what the movie talks about here. But it does give light on that the old James Bond, which is portrayed by Austin Powers, shows that Austin Powers coming into the future, he sees everything around him that is, you know, it's kind of, the world has grown up, you know. It's best shown in the movie, but the world has grown up around him. And it's like if Sean Connery came in 30 years later and just saw the world around him. Because the movies back in the day were very, very sexist, and then if they were made now, they just wouldn't be allowed. It's just no. We have that, no. But, yeah, I think it's really, really well done, especially at the very end of Austin Powers, and it's a good moral, because the things that James Bond does in some of the early movies are just not okay. And yes, I give this movie 5 stars. But hold on a second. Stars, you know those things in the sky? They're boring. Everybody uses stars. So I decided to make my own rating scale. I don't know if you guys can see this, but my new rating scale. These are all the movies I have reviewed, but they are done in this thing. Instead of 5 things, we have 6 things. Now, we have Super Morbentacular. That's for the movies that are perfection, just the best. That's hence the word morbid in there because of Morbius, the greatest film of all time. Next we got nice, which is movies that are nice. We got Blues Brothers, The Batman, Dr. No, Phantom of the Opera, and then we have good. They're not nice, they're just good. And we have King Kong versus Godzilla, and we got Pacific Rim. Then we got Oki, which is Holes, because Holes is a movie. We do not know if it's good or bad, it's just okay. And then we have Mid. This is like if okay just went down one. This is Mid. And then we have Disgusting, which is for the movies that we don't talk about. So yeah, International Man of Mystery, that goes right here. Super Morbentacular. Because, you know, where else would it go? Disgusting. So yeah, that's my review for International Man of Mystery. Go check it out. It's very good, but don't watch it until you've watched all of the early James Bond movies. Watch some of the Sean Connery movies, and then watch Austin Powers. The more James Bond you watch, the funnier Austin Powers is. But, until next time, I will see you.
Previously on Family Guy.
We left your package just around where you are.
A package?
A knockoff brand Nerf. By the way, we'll be having a meeting tomorrow at headquarters.
Yeah, I'll...
Jeff, get the grenade!
Sounds good. I'm gonna head out now.
Gentlemen, I have returned. Cool guy in glasses.
Hey, my name's Jeff.
Walter.
Here.
There's only 3 guys, and we got 3 of us.
Sorry, just us.
Anyways, Walter, what's our status?
We bought MGM for $9 billion.
Perfect. Now, with that information, because we have just bought MGM, that means we have the rights to The Hobbit, James Bond. That's about it. Sir, now with that, do you know what that means?
We can make a RoboCop 5.
No! It means that we are one step closer to world domination. Now, how we are going to rule the world is, first off, we will buy every movie company in existence. Starting off with the tinier ones like, I don't know, something. And we'll go our way up to Paramount, Universal, Sony, Warner Brothers, and then Disney.
But how does buying movie companies make us rule the world?
Zip it. I don't want to hear any more of you.
We just wondered.
Stop! You want me to press this button?
No, sir.
That's what I thought. Now, anyways, because of us buying James Bond, that means we can shut down their entire business. MI6 is gone, which means no one can stop us. So, now with that, we will continuously buy every movie company for $10 billion.
Actually, sir, big movie companies are usually worth around $70 million.
What? That's a total waste of money. Are you serious? Okay then. Instead, we will buy every movie company continuously for $5 billion.
That's still a lot, but okay.
Hey, Walter, what's up?
Daniel, we're done.
What? What do you mean we're done?
We've been bought out.
Who bought us?
Just some big company.
How do you buy MI6? Okay then. So what? Do I just give you all my stuff?
Yeah, just put it on the box on the table.
Okay.
Wait a second. I know that box.